Hi and welcome to this podcast. My name is Richard Hayton and I'm here today at the Centre for British Politics at the University of Hull, where a conference has been taking place sponsored by the Political Studies Association, examining the Conservative Party in coalition government. And I'm joined now by Dr. Eunice, who is an Associate Professor at Richmond University in London, and who has published widely both in academia and in public policy debates, for example on issues around challenges to British tolerance, moral conflicts in multiculturalism, and on Labour Party and Conservative Party politics. First of all then, have the Liberal Democrats really had any kind of discernible impact either on the rhetoric or the substance of coalition policy towards Europe?
The Liberal Democrats and the coalition have been quite modest, but it is quite evident as well, and it has been quite effective as well. They operate in a very discreet manner, but the overall effect has been strong. They have essentially prevented the government to take on a hardline Eurosceptic policies, and for instance, they have prevented the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from commitments in the European Union. That has been their impact in terms of the coalition agreements. The coalition program establishes that there's no disengagement from the European Union. Of course, they had to give up a lot of their policy commitments, but they seem to be happy with that. And at the level of rhetoric, it's been quite important. The positive engagement that the coalition is committed to pursue in Europe is there. And in fact, the first months of the coalition government, everyone in Europe was sighing of relief because David Cameron seems such a sensible guy, such a pragmatic Eurosceptic, somebody with whom Europe could do business. I don't know if they're thinking the same after the veto in December, but overall, the Liberal Democrats have really put a stop to the Eurosceptic, the more hardline Eurosceptic tendencies of the Conservative Party, to the great distress of the rebels, the Conservative rebels in Parliament.
So is the coalition any less Eurosceptic, perhaps, than a true blue Conservative majority government might have been, do you think?
Yes, I would say a lighter shade of Euroscepticism. That is very clear. It's also very interesting to see the changes occurring within the Liberal Democrats themselves. They also don't want to be seen as the party that bangs on about Europe. And they've been very careful at not seeming too pro-European, because public opinion at the moment is fairly Eurosceptic. There is more and more people in the United Kingdom, and for good reasons too, for being Eurosceptic. The Eurozone crisis is not really inspiring. And so it looks like the leadership, at least of the Liberal Democrats, are going through a change, an ideological change, where they are actually getting closer to the leadership of the Conservative Party. So they don't want to be seen as just the party that defends Europe. So they are changing also in that direction.
So thinking about the coalition a bit more broadly, I mean, what does this tell us about the ideology of both coalition parties, and indeed the position of the Liberal Democrats within the coalition?
I think it can say at the level of the leaderships, and there is, and it has been identified in the literature, a great ideological convergence between the leadership of the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats, Gladstonian liberals, social conservatives forming the coalition. And we're seeing that effect also at the level of the European policy. So there is some form of osmosis at the level of the coalition. The problem is, what are they going to do with the parliamentary parties? That's essentially where the problems for the coalition might appear.
So many thanks, Eunice, for sharing your thoughts with us on those issues today.
Thank you.
It sounds like the European issue is going to continue to be a key area of contention in the coalition over the coming months and years. And thank you for joining us.